All right, we're talking Gen V, episode 5. Scotty, it's been a little bit, but we definitely want to jump into this series. Unfortunately, I have 4 episodes in a in a week, so jumping in a little bit in the middle of it, but a lot going on. We got Cypher, who's the new villain. We don't know what he's quite up to yet, but definitely a lot of interesting. And we got a power reveal last episode. Let's see what he's doing. Marie's powers. Apparently, she's the key to killing Homelander. Possibly, maybe we'll talk about it. we got a bailout mission that goes wrong, and then we got Sam's backstory. We get to learn a little bit more about him, which I really liked. This is Minor League Films. Go ahead and sub and like the video. All the good stuff. Got videos dropping every day, and we're getting to Halloween, which a lot of horror movies coming out. But without further ado, Gen V. Happy to be back and talking about this. Really enjoy the first 4 episodes, and Scotty. So far, so good, man. I've liked it. And last episode, we ended with the fight between Marie and Jordan, and we found out Cypher can control people.
Man, you know what? This series has been really good. I didn't like the first series that much. I was just like, throw it away. I don't really care about it. This series, episode 1, boom, got me hooked. That fight scene fight scene last episode, I didn't expect his power to be like possession. I thought it was going to be kind of like mind manipulation or being able to read minds because of him knowing everything. Like he's just Lex Luthor at this point. He's Lex Luthor that can also go inside of your body. I think it's cool. Everything about him is interesting. It's a mystery to him because we don't know how he knows everything. Could be part of his power. Could be Sage in his ear, as we saw in the first part of this episode. So it could just be a mixture of Sage and his intelligence coming together along with a mole. We'll talk about the mole later.
Yeah, I don't know about a mole, but I have a theory on how his powers work. I think actually now it would actually really make sense because remember in the last episode, Marie could sense his blood and found he had no compound V in there. She could sense that's in there, which is actually pretty cool. She can do that. But so I have a little theory on his powers work, but I'll save that for a little bit later, and I will tackle that in another video. But we get the fight, and obviously, I mean, honestly, this whole, and I love the first season, by the way. I know you mentioned it. I did love it, so I was excited for this one. This whole season has felt like you're fucked. Like no matter what you do, your back is against the wall, and Cypher has really held him to the fire. Like, all right, you want to go back to Elmyra, or you want to do what I want you to do? All right, you don't want to do what I want you to do? Back to Elmyra. All right, I'll let you out again, but you got to listen to what I'm saying. So definitely a lot going on with there. I want to jump into Marie's powers a little bit here. So Cypher is really interested in her. We obviously know she was part of Project she was Project Odessa, as they called it, and he was very involved with that. I'm interested in what do you think about her powers? Because obviously we knew she could fight with her blood. Now she can basically. I don't know if there's going to be a limit. I mean, in another season, I don't know if there's going to be a limit by the end of the season to what she can do.
Yeah, her powers are growing because Cypher put her in that kind of like an X-Men danger room kind of thing with all the rest of the students, but obviously was focused mainly on her. Like she can levitate people without having to like cut them or have blood coming out of them. So now she can just manipulate you, throw you around, kind of like telekinesis, but it's like bloodokinesis, coagulalysis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She can heal wounds and stuff like that. She doesn't have to use her hands. She can just kind of walk forward if she wants to, as Cypher was telling her. And I think the most interesting part about this is Cypher is going to be using her, maybe not necessarily to kill Homelander, but that's what they're like alluding. That's what he wants to do. He's just doing it in an evil ass, manipulated way. He's just like, yeah, I'm here for you, bitch. Do what I say. Everybody dies. Like, it's cool. And her power is like this. Like I think eventually they're gonna grow enough to be like who's the girl from The Boys that could do that? You know what I'm talking about? The Huey's boss that could pop people's heads off.
Oh, is it? It's not Marie. God Lord, that's her name. I do. You know what I'm talking about. The senator lady from last.
I forgot her name, but she could do it just by looking at you, and that was it. Marie's powers will work a little bit differently. So eventually, she might be able just to look at people like Magneto would do and just throw you across the room very quickly. Her powers just work kind of slow right now. That's the only thing. They're getting faster, but she uses her powers incredibly slow. So at the end of the season, Cypher might have a little bit faster.
Yeah, Newman's who you're talking about. Yeah, it took me a minute. Yeah, I mean, honestly, she could probably blow up people's heads as well. Yeah, I'm interested to see what his curiosity, because I don't feel like it's just a take out Homelander thing. Like we saw the stuff with his supposed dad, quote unquote. Maybe with Marie having the ability to heal people, maybe she can heal that body. Or if that is truly his dad, which I have questions about, maybe she can heal that body. I don't think it is.
I don't either.
Yeah. So maybe she can heal that body. That's possible. I think it's a little more deep, especially when you have the introduction of Sage in here. Now we see him working with Sage, who I'm glad to see have back because I really did like her in the last season of The Boys. And obviously she's the smartest person in the world. So their plan really, I mean, I thought one of the best reveals of The Boys was her plan all coming together at the end. And you're like, hey, you playing this whole time. So you know that our heroes, and the favorite part about Gen V is the characters. We know our heroes in this one, they're already screwed because there's no really beating Sage. And it feels like Cypher is not just like, oh, let me listen to Sage. It's like, oh, I got a plan too. So it's a 1A, 1B combination. But we see Sage in here. So we don't quite know what their plan is yet. But we're going to see about that coming here soon. Another thing I want to talk about is we got a before. Oh, I guess, well, the plan of this episode is Kate. Obviously, she tried to get Cypher last episode. Found out she couldn't do that, and then with his powers revealed, so of course she gets thrown to Elmyra, just like everybody else. She gets thrown in there, and the team has to come together. In between that time, we got one of my favorite parts of the episodes was Sam and actually going to him and seeing a bit of his backstory. So he goes home, and contrary to what I thought, his parents don't freak out and call the police. They actually love him and want him to be around and miss him. And I thought that was one of the more heartwarming scenes that I've seen really in this entire franchise.
You know, I thought when when he walked in, his mother was looking real shocked and his dad was ready to give him a hug. I thought his mother was actually going to be calling the police when she said she was actually calling for pizza. And hearing about how they actually were looking for him and thought he was dead and had like a funeral for him or whatnot. And when they saw him on the news, Vault wouldn't let them see the kid and said Sam wouldn't want to see them. I thought that was cool. I said, oh, so they really were looking for him. They weren't like the rest of these parents. And then when you find out like that the V in his blood, they didn't give it to him just to be assholes. They gave it to him to fix his mental illness. I thought that was cool too. So it's like this is like the first good set of parents that we've seen out of the whole entire show so far.
Actually, I'll piggyback on this. The second good set of parents we've seen because last episode we found more about Marie's parents and the fact that they also didn't just pawn her off just to get a paycheck. Like they were trying to have a child, and that was the only way they could actually do it. And
I forgot. Yeah, they died though. That's why I forgot all about that. They got
we talked to her aunt and we got more into that information, which was cool. And actually, her aunt was super cool. And actually, one of those people were like, okay, like that's a degree of this in The Boys. In The Boys, it feels like no one. While we have some good characters or some more even characters, it feels like no one is really trying to do the right thing or be a good person. They're really just trying to get done what they need to get done. In this series, it feels more so like them taking the risk to go bail out Kate when they knew it was a trap before they even left, or like the parents actually caring about Sam. And what was his brother's name again? Golden Boy, and I forget his.
I can't remember because he died like in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's Golden Boy. We do know that.
I think his name is Ryan or something.
Yeah, something like that. The comments will tell us. But he obviously with losing him and then losing Sam, who they thought was dead, obviously rough for them, and to see him coming back, it's like, man, it's just a really touching point. And the fact that his mental illness is just genetic, trying to protect him, and obviously him trying to deal with that. You see him struggling. I think this is gonna be, I thought some of the best moments in season 1 was definitely Sam and Emma and their relationship growing together, and then you just see him like really trying to hold it together. He's like, oh, I got somebody who's really interested in me. I've been isolated for so long, and I'm just trying to hold it together until like he really can't. And I think part of this season, I think they alluded to him, his mom telling him like, hey, you got to take responsibility for this, and you're the really only one that can control it, whether it gets better or worse. That's really up to you. So Sam is definitely somebody I'm looking forward to going forward and seeing if now I don't believe he's going to be like, hey, y'all are on your own. Like he's going to be part of the hero team just because you feel like deep down he is a good person. But I do feel like it's going to be a cool thing they're doing here with this kind of mental battle of him trying to toe the line and be a good person and not fall apart, because he does have people, even Emma, that still really care about him.
Yeah, not just that. Like he's definitely going to be a part of the crew now, just because both of his parents together said, we were trying to do everything we could to see you. Vault, the people that you're so gung-ho about, the people that you think are on your side, they stopped us from coming to see you. So
Yep.
it's all about them. So when he heard that, you can see his character's facial expressions changed a little bit. I said, okay. So even though he said fuck Kate about like a couple scenes before that, I think he's gonna say, okay, you know what? I can help y'all take down Vault and see what's going on. So hopefully when he comes back, he also gets some kind of training somehow, even though he can't beat Homelander because he's crazy. I think maybe he'll get some kind of training. Maybe that training will be some mental training. Maybe Cypher can help him in some kind of mental capacity somehow.
Yeah, I wonder, and the thing is, it's so hard to figure out what Cypher's plan is because he's playing both sides so well. I don't know if he's gonna really train another suit because he just has a straight interest for Marie. I think that would be cool if he did, but I don't know the benefit of him training Sam or trying to help him out. I think this is Sam's kind of thing where he's on his own, really trying to figure this out, and he doesn't really need training. He's an unstoppable force whenever he wants to be. Obviously, outside of fighting a Homelander or somebody like Golden Boy or somebody or what Winter Soldier. What's the what you know what I'm talking about? What's the other soldier guy in here? Soldier
Boy.
Yeah, Soldier Boy. So I was called Soldier. My same, almost the same guy. Soldier Boy. So having him in there as well. So unless he fights somebody like that, he's really pretty unstoppable. So we'll see how he goes. But they go obviously breaking to Elmyra.
Oh, hold on, player.
People would say
hold on.
You're gonna complain. So you have 30 seconds. I'm timing it right now.
Hey.
Before you do that, everybody make sure you like that video, hit that sub button, and just know he tried to call me out for nitpicking. You got 30 seconds. Go for it, and everybody sit through this nitpick while I time this. And it's
when
now.
Emma, Jordan, and Marie are ready to go on this rescue mission. Emma and Marie have on black shirts, camo pants, ready to go. It's gonna be dark outside. They got a black truck. It's time to go. What's Jordan wearing?
Oh, that's me. You got 15 seconds.
No, this is it.
You got 15 seconds.
A white sweater with bright blue on. You know what I'm saying? Even if they didn't know she was coming, as soon as they saw her, she sticks out like a sore thumb. They're like, oh, there they are right there. She shouldn't be here. No tactical gear, no black shirts. Come on, man. She wasn't ready.
So moving on, they knew they were coming, so it didn't matter what they wore. They were already prepared and waiting on the roof exactly where they showed up.
But if they didn't, still would have seen it.
But they did anyway. So obviously, they block it off. They all get captured and put into Elmyra. And obviously, all get stuck there, and then they're all trying to plot their way out. Cypher again comes back, more plotting, and says, hey, Marie, like, look, I hate to tell you this, but you don't work with me no matter if it's at school, if it's here, if it's at your crib, if it's at the local YMCA. You're pretty much stuck. So just do what I want you to do, and then y'all can all walk free and get out of here. And she agrees. And we come to find out a character we've been looking for 2 seasons, Marie's sister, is actually in Elmyra. Now, we don't know this yet, but I expect her to have some level of powers. I don't know what she can do, but definitely she's going to be able to do something because, again, they couldn't have kids with a compound V, so that would go for both of them. So that was an interesting turn of events. I really didn't expect her sister just to show up like that. I thought that was
I didn't either.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I don't even think they really needed the sister there to convince Marie to do anything. They could have just tortured her friends right there, and she would have still helped. What I found most interesting in that scene, just it happens for a little bit of a second, of when Cypher's telling. It's the first time Cypher slips up just a little bit, and he tells Jordan that he was a perfect fit for her body, and Jordan's like, "Bitch, I felt you in there. You were in pain. You're in pain all the time." That goes with your theory. Now that we've pieced it, that actually goes 100% with your theory. You want to say your theory?
Actually, I want to put, okay, I will cover this in more of another video, but I think that person that we've seen at the beginning that Cyber taking care of is actually himself, and he's just putting his control into another body, and that's actually very cool because that feels like if he could also control Jordan, he could control, I don't know what the limit would be, but multiple bodies at multiple times, and with all these soups running around. And Jordan being one of the stronger people that we've seen in both of these, I guess, shows, that's very dangerous. So, and I think too, it's just like he's like, yo, if I can get another body or heal that old body, like I come back, Homelander can't stop me. Like no one can stop me because I can turn multiple people against him, even if I can't control him. I don't know if he has a limit on power or who he can control, but I really believe that's Cypher.
That's a perfect theory because when Jordan said he's always in pain, that could be him in that tank because he's always in pain from whatever explosion, whatever happened to him, and he's controlling Cypher like 24/7, even
Yeah.
controlling him to wipe his body down and clean him and whatnot.
When you
And
think
like that's
When you
super
think
powerful.
about it, when he caught the knife from Polarity, that we'll get into a little bit, caught a knife from him and just stabbed his hand. It's like that is somebody who is not afraid of pain or danger, and it's
Mhm.
not like he healed in the next scene. Like he still very much had the hand wrapped and was like, yeah, just don't bother that. So clearly, like he doesn't. I don't think he really cares about that body. I think he cares
Nope.
about healing his other one and then taking control, and maybe Marie has the ability to do that, as we found out with her sister, and that was a good catch there. With her sister, she has the ability to heal and bring her back to life. So I think he's like, if I can push Marie enough to heal and heal this body, then it's like, oh, I'll I'll stop tormenting y'all, because right now he has them pinned, and they really, really right now, if he asks Marie like, hey, you heal this body and I'll let y'all go, she will take the deal.
Yeah.
So going with that, it's a lot going on right now. I'm very interested to see what Marie's sister's powers are. I think at some point and going forward, I guess it's so fast in the season. I really wish they did it week by week, but we really
Yeah.
only have 3 episodes left, 6, 7, and 8, to see what happens. But I think at some point, I don't know if they're gonna get out of Elmyra. I think Sam might bust his way in and help them out, especially the fact that they're stuck. Um, we'll see what happens with the other Emma's other love interest. You had a your theory he might be you thought
You
it might be a
know,
mole or something.
that because it's just weird that he's popping up and he's always asking a question. He's always asking like some explicit details. Where y'all going? What time you gonna be there? What you wearing? What's going on? It's done. And this right here, this might be like he might not be a mole. It might just be a stupid ass character they put in the show. But he just asks a bunch of stupid questions every time he's in the room with Emma, but he never does anything. Like
Yeah.
even when they were planning that big thing, and she had the girl that can control her pubic hair and the other girl, and he was there. He's supposed to be a part of that crew. He didn't do anything. He just kind of there knowing all the information. So I'm like, okay, that's probably somebody reporting back because I wouldn't think Cypher as powerful as he is, or let's say he's a guy in the tank that can control multiple bodies at once. I wouldn't think they're going to give him mind reading abilities as well. I think it's him, it's Sage, and then someone else that's in that group or around that group that's like, oh, this is what they're doing.
I
Now,
mean, I
the only problem with that, which is why I think maybe he's not a mole, is before Emma met him, Cypher still knew what was going on. So I don't know how he would know that. So I hope they don't give him mind reading powers along with that. Because that'd be crazy. That's Professor
yes,
Xavier we got in here. We don't need like who can stop him at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest tell-all is we have not seen his powers yet, and that's something like if you haven't seen somebody's powers, and you've seen them multiple times, where they give away everyone's powers as soon as they walk onto the scene, that tells you they got something planned higher for him. I'm
Mhm.
actually thinking deeper into one of your theories. If you said maybe that person in the thing, and maybe it could be Godolkin, the original. I'm actually thinking back. I don't know if we saw him die. We
We
saw, now I
didn't.
remember seeing somebody catch on fire. I remember
Mhm.
seeing somebody some people bust apart. I don't exactly remember Godolkin really dying, so it could be him, and that could have been his side effect. And now he's Cypher, and now he's able to control other people. That is a possibility. Even going deeper into that theory, and we got to do another video on that because there's a lot to
He
talk about
bled.
there.
Yeah, he bled and he fell. Some V could have got in him, or he could be the guy that was on fire. Who knows?
Yeah, so
It's
definitely.
going to be a big bombshell in the last episode, and like you and I hate it because when you said I like this better than the boys, like the first season, I said, "Oh, you crazy." Now I'm feeling the same way. When season 2 came out, I'm like, I'm liking this better than the boys. I wish they had like 15 episodes instead of 8.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is, and I love The Boys. It's been one of my favorite shows since it came on TV, and you can see The Boys bleeding into this, even when it doesn't need to. I think the biggest deal is you care about Marie, you care about Emma. I still care about Sam, he's crazy. Even Kate, we've had moments with Kate where like she's been vulnerable. She does fucked up things, but she doesn't want to. And
Yeah,
sometimes she just has to. I mean, think about it. She was dealing with the Dean last season. She's dealing with Cypher this season. And also, too, how hard is it to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go against Homelander? Like, that's a death sentence. So even her, her and Andre, we cared about all them and Jordan as well. And it's just like with the boys, you just really don't get that. You get those like, I'm enjoying the ride, but if somebody dies, it's like maybe outside of Frenchie, maybe the person I care about most. Mother's Milk, I care about him. But the main people you're dealing with, if they would have died, I'd be like, okay, and in this season, I'm like, man, if Sam dies or Emma dies, I'm like, damn, like I feel like I'm gonna really feel it. And I think that's the biggest difference in those two shows.
I think they do a really good job with too is preserving Andre's legacy.
Yeah,
Chance Perdomo's legacy in this show. Like they mention him in depth every single episode, and even with him not being here, he's important in every single episode. Like he's like the driving force for a lot of these characters in what they're doing, whether it's
yeah,
revenge or justice or whatever. I feel like this show really is the first superhero show in a long time that I think dealt with loss. I think this and Daredevil and Punisher have dealt with it very, very well as far as preserving a character's legacy. Because you don't see this in superhero movies ever. You do not see them preserving characters' legacy in this kind of way, where it's not just simply bringing up their name, it's saying how important they were without even saying it, just showing how much the character meant to the entire crew and what drives them. So I think that's really good. It reminded me of what the MCU should have done when before the Scarlet Witch show and the Vision show.
yeah.
And I feel like they should have had more development with her losing her brother after that, because she lost her brother. And then the next movie is like, oh, Avenger time.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
like, okay. Yeah, obviously with the character, the actor actually going in real life, it does mean a lot. And I thought that first episode, like you really felt it. I think it made it a little slower as they were trying to pay homage. But I think as the season has gone on, like they have used that plot point to make it feel like not only like the actor, but the actual character in the show was important. And they're using him to move the plot forward or just like realize like make these characters have realization of where they're at outside of like real life. In the show, it's like, dang, like Andre as a character, we really felt for him and like he really, sacrificed himself to get out, to help us get out. And like you're still seeing the results of that and how it's affecting them. I think they're doing a masterful job, and that's credit to both the actor and the character of keeping them involved, even though they're no longer in the show, and making it feel like it actually happened in the show. Because a lot of shows, it'll either be a new actor or they'll just write them off and not really use them back.
Yep.
I think this show has done a really good job of not writing that character off, not replacing it, and making it still a very big plot point. Because Polarity, the one person we haven't talked about yet, like even with him, you still feel the emotional aspect. Now, like I always forget that actor's name, but I really like him. Now he hasn't done much in this show so far, but I think the emotional aspect of Polarity and his emotions and obviously stuff dealing with his powers, having that same condition that Andre does, is really affecting him. And I think that's one of the points that it hasn't quite gave the big payoff yet, but it's still a good reminder of like how that character has affected the show.
Yeah, played by Sean Patrick Thomas from
I always know it's
Barbershop.
Sean. I forget his last like two
Yeah,
names.
from Barbershop, Save the Last Dance, a couple other things. But I like him a lot too. Like all these characters are likable, even the quote unquote villains. Because if we're really thinking about it, are there actual villains in this show? And it's hard to have a superhero show with no actual villains on screen and it's still good, because Cypher and Sage have their own thing going on. Maybe their plan is to kill the villain, which is Homelander. So it's kind of like they're in between, just have their own kind of agenda. And the show is still good. They do a really good job with this show. Like I said, that's almost impossible to do, have a hero show with no villains on screen.
Yeah, I've never really felt Sage was a villain. I always thought like she's so smart and no one will give her a chance, that she'll just take that chance and really just kind of something where I'm so smart I get bored and I just really want to figure out a problem or cause something to happen so I have entertainment. And then Cypher, like he's right now. Homelander, we kind of knew what he was on screen as soon as he stepped on. Like, okay, this dude's a problem, and hopefully they can find a way to stop him. Cypher, so far, is a really good villain because we can theory it out, I don't know what his plan is yet. I don't really know what he wants to do. Sometimes he cares about Marie. Sometimes I feel like he doesn't. Sometimes I feel like he's just using her. Like these other characters, he's manipulating them. Like he's all over the place. So it's really hard to pin. Like, what do you want? Like that's the kind of biggest question. Like, what do you want? So we'll talk about that more, in fact. But again, this is episode 5 now. I thought this was a really good episode. Still very deep in the show. I mean, so far with the first half of the season, high price of admission right now. I think they're doing a lot of things well. Again, I like it just as much as the boys with better characters, so I like it a little bit more. But I think it's been on par. And even when the boys in, I would love to see these characters continue off. And because I feel like I saw this and I'm like, okay, they probably have a couple seasons of this. We can move on. It's like, man, I love hanging out with these people. I would love to see them all through senior year. Like keep bringing in villains, keep bringing in problems, and I just love hanging out with them and seeing them mature and grow. So that's where I'm at. You got anything else on episode or the season so far?
No, I feel the same. Like I'd like to see him progress. I'd like to see that all the characters are progressing. I mean, Jordan doesn't really need much more progressing because she can completely control her powers. The only downside I have so far is that Emma still is struggling with her powers. So I actually would have loved to see during that training session her get some kind of hold on her powers. That's the only downside. That's not really much of a downside because it still moves the show along with her not being able to control her powers all the way without doing something crazy. So other than that, I mean, I like every character. Emma is my favorite character in the show. That's maybe why I'm so hard on her. Like, hello, can we get these powers together? Get big, get small. Can we get that under control? Like, come on.
Yeah, and the one thing I did, it was a small part, but I do like with Emma that her condition, and I'm blanking on the name right now, but her being her throwing up and obviously eating is like that is something that has nothing to do with the V or her powers. That's something that she struggles with just as a person. So she would have that if she didn't have superpowers or not. And the fact that now it involves her powers is super cool. If is it bulimic or I forget what it's.
I don't remember what they said it was, but I thought it was bulimia, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it might that condition. It's the real life condition. I'm just blanking on it. But yeah, super cool there. But yeah, loving the season so far. Is it price mission for you as well?
Yeah, I say a high price admission. I can say I hate that I liked it because I was giving you so much shit last time when the last season came. I was like, he likes this bullshit.
And I actually watched them back at season 1, and I like and there's so many moments that you forget about happening in season 1. You're like, dang, these are some really touching moments in here, and then you kind of forget what's going on, especially with Andre still, in that season. So go right now. Again, hit the like button, hit that sub. We were fully on the train for Gen V. You still have the strangers to talk about. I still have One Battle After Another, which was I know you hate Stranger. One Battle After Another, really good movie. Want to definitely talk about that. And we are getting to the time of Halloween. So I have a slate, Texas Chainsaw, the original Jaws. We're going to have guests on. We have a lot to talk about, especially because horror is what we do here. So make sure you like and sub. We're chasing that 1,000 mark, so we're working our way up to there. So make sure you do that and help us out. Check out the last couple of videos we did. We got more coming for you. Scotty, got anything before we get out of here?
No, man. Like, look forward to some special guests coming on the show in October for horror. We're going to try to knock out a lot of classic horror along with the new horrors that come out. Unfortunately, I'll have to talk about Strangers Chapter 2. That is not a real movie. That's a movie that I made in my backyard with my phone.
Well, fortunately enough, in our worst sequels, we did get some feedback. So they gave us some movies to watch in our vampire. They gave us some other vampire movies to watch as well. So you see those videos, there's some comments and some other movies that we didn't mention that you may want to check out. So make sure you do that. That's all I got. Watch Gen V season 2. It's been really good so far, and we're going to catch it every week and come and talk about it. All that good stuff. We will catch you next time.